And we are live. So I'm going to be trying something new today. I've been needing to do this story for quite a while, and I've been getting on Heek about it, but as you can see by the last edited tag, it was 9 days ago. So, I'm going to start doing this on my Thursday streams likely. Heek and I have been working on a story, and neither of us have been doing too good about getting the time in on our little projects for making sure we understand each other. This is how far I've made it so far. I've really only been spending 20 minutes here and there on it. I hope to get a little bit of progress done tonight. In fact, I'm going to bump the music down a little bit to where it's just a background sound because we're going to be focusing on the text today. Hello, Nessa. Okay, so I'm going to read this out to catch me up and to make sure you guys understand what's going on. So, an attack approaches. I open my eyes as my body tightens with fear, trying to wake up without moving as I search my senses for what alerted me. Finding that the air hums with a feeling, as if a sound is happening but I can't hear it. The air shifting like it would before a drummer beats, or the swell of a piper as they take their breath. Every motion of the air around me feels hostile, like it's been given an intent it didn't have before. My very breath feels acidic in my mouth, the gust scraping my throat as it exits. Laying in bed, I wait for the attack to be more clear as I listen. Ah! Laying in bed as I wait for the attack to be more clear, I listen. That feels weird. We're going to have to revisit that. Trying to make out the direction or purpose of this bizarre feeling. And then suddenly I feel insane, needlessly second guessing my powers like I did years ago. Berating myself mentally. What am I doing? Listening to the wind for an opponent. I toss this thought aside for now as I continue to mutter and get out of bed to start my day. I have things to do, with or without a threat. Trying to convince my sleep deprived mind that this is the real world, I uncharacteristically use my powers to accomplish my morning tasks, simply to prove that I have them and that this threat is real. As my body wakes to the exertion and requirements of my chores, I get this nagging feeling that I should recognize the sound, that I felt it before somewhere else. The sound changes ever so slightly as the memory comes to mind. It's just enough that I can make it out now. It's a slow rise and fall, as if as if to a beat too far apart for me to notice. Scrambling to gather my things, I attempt to block out my fear. The last time I heard this sound, everything changed. Running up the path to ah, Running up the path from my field to the shed in terror, I try to gather my thoughts about what's approaching. We were told she was stable, that she had found where she was supposed to be. What happened to set her off like this again, and why did she come this way? My thoughts stop as I near my shed. It's been so long since I have required the use of my tool. This moment hangs heavy in my mind as I consider the effects of wielding it again. As I approach the door, I remember the feeling of my tool, the power it gave me, and the connection to the world around me I felt when moving in sync with it. I smell the fresh scent of my powers at work from the back of my mind, the clean air, the pure water, the rot of transition plants, and the scent of pure joy. So, that's how far I've made it. Let's revisit this. Where was it? Laying in bed, as I wait for the attack to be more clear, I listen. So, laying in bed as I wait for the attack to be more clear, I listen. Trying desperately. Okay, so I think that's going to make more sense. So, laying in bed as I wait for the attack to be more clear, I listen. So that's one sentence. Then there's a pause, trying to make out the direction or purpose of this bizarre feeling. Another sentence. So that was the issue. It was a run-on sentence. It either needed another comma to make a pause where there should have been a period, or I just needed to make two sentences. Then suddenly I feel insane, needlessly second guessing my powers like I did years ago. Okay, that's better. The other thing is, my thoughts stop as I near my shed. It has been so long since I have required the use of my tool. This moment hangs heavy in my mind as I consider the effects of wielding it again. I feel like there needs to be a better description there, but I'm not sure what it should be at this point. I want to continue opening the shed door because that's an important point. So this needs capitalized. right there. As I approached the door, I remember the feeling of my tool, the power it gave me, and the connection to the world I felt when moving in sync with it. This might need to be a different word. Comment. Different word. Maybe. Okay, comment. Uh, I felt when moving in sync with it. I smell the fresh scent of my powers at work from the back of my mind, the clean air, the pure water, the rot of transition plants. And this needs to have a better word for it. Comment. Need a better word for plants used to make components for other plants. Components. I.e. trees to make wood or vines to make something. I don't know. Or another plant to process a chemical. Let's just do it like that. Because that's the general idea. Transition plants are supposed to be a plant that a life crafter would be able to make, or even, I think it should be more general, not necessarily plants, but some form of life that it uses between two forms of life. So if you wanted to make a golem out of wood, you'd have to make a tree in between, or you could, to make the process easier. You could have the tree make the wood and then make the golem out of the tree, as an example. Doesn't have to be plants. Plants, it's not spelled with an R. And let's, does not. Comment. Okay. And the scent of pure joy. Okay. From here, I don't think this needs to be a new paragraph. I smell the fresh scent of my powers at work from the back of my mind. The clean air, the pure water, the rot of transition plants, and the scent of pure joy. As my hands itch for the feel of my tool. Now here, we might want to say what tool it is. But I've yet to... What tool? I've yet to decide on that. So what tool? As my hands itch for the feel of my tool, I reach for the door. Yes, the door to the shed. And this needs to be capitalized. Not with a 0, please. I'd like to do that. Okay. I reach for the door. And find my tool on the other side. Now this is the point where we need to decide. Now what kind of tool would a life crafter who has put themselves on a farm have? I am thinking a scythe, just to be stereotypical. I don't know. I think that's gonna work. Yeah, I think a scythe will work. So, resolve. You have been resolved. How do you spell scythe? S-Y-T-H-E. Let's make sure this is the right thing. Yep. Hello, scythe. Scythe. Perfect. I reach for the door and finds my tool on the other side. No, find. Okay. Picking it up. It feels like any other tool. No, any other scythe. A dead wood handle and iron. What is that called? Blade? Scythe. blade. Oh, it's spelled with a C. Why did it? Okay. Yeah, I guess it's called a blade. Okay, but we need to actually change this. So apparently there's two types of scythes. Picking. I would like to know the difference eventually. Iron blade. Okay. Picking it up, it feels like any other scythe. Deadwood handle and iron blade. And to anyone but a mandate, it is. Okay, picking it up, it feels like any other scythe. A dead wood handle and iron blade, and to anyone but a mandate, it is. That "and" feels weird. Hmm. A dead wood handle and iron blade, and. That's why it feels weird. Dead wood handle, iron blade, and. That doesn't make any sense either. Let's try that. A dead wood handle with an iron blade. And to anyone but a mandate it is. We can English, people. So that's a period. Okay. Seems like a long sentence still, but we're going to leave it as is for now. Now, picking it up, it feels like any other scythe. A dead wood handle with an iron blade. And this should be a comma. And anyone but a mandate, it is. I have almost forgotten the sound that. I just have you on for background noise. Nice, Nessa. I've almost forgotten the sound that approaches as I get caught up in the reclamation of my tool. Now I think there we should use tool because it's more specific, or less specific. It's just my tool, my thing that I was looking for, rather than saying scythe. Almost forgotten the sound that approaches as I get caught up in the reclamation of my tool. Okay, and there was something I was going to transition to with that. As I remember that it's there, changes again. Almost as if in reaction to my thoughts. Okay? And again, this needs capitalized. So, as I remember that it's there, it changes. That needs to be a comma. Almost as if in reaction to my thoughts. Realizing this means she is closer, I skip. Can I actually do this? I don't skip. What is it? I hurry. I hurry through. What's the word here? I hurry through. Not activating. It's like not wielding either. Insert action that defines the use / empowerment of tool here. Okay. Realizing this means she is closer, I hurry through. Insert action that defines use empowerment of tool here. Okay. So that, without capitals, I, with capitals, without capitals. Ready. Okay. I don't know what to use there. Uh, becomes famous with writing a weird book. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a book yet. I mean, it's hardly 2 paragraphs. So we do have information on. Da, 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 da. Yeah, we have information on the structure of it yet, but we've got different ideas as to what. No, that's a pamphlet. 2 paragraphs is a pamphlet. This isn't even a pamphlet yet. Okay. Um, I don't even know what to use there, so that I am ready. But yeah, I don't know. Uh, it's a Wattpad book. What is Wattpad? I don't even know. Let's see. Wattpad. Where stories live. The most loved social storytelling platform. Okay. What does Wattpad have to do with a 2 paragraph book? It's a story site for different people write stories. It goes by small pages. Ah. So if I go start reading. Ah, I do have to sign up though. Can I look to see what you have? Duke's daughter who is liable to die in the Seven Nobles. What is that title? Okay. The Deviant Path to Olympus. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I can see why. It seems like an open platform for books, but what is this? Duke's daughter who's liable to die in the Seven Nobles. That doesn't even make sense. Okay, read. Let's see. I, Erica, Duke of Aurelia's daughter. That's not what a duke is. What? You're not duke of a person. You're duke of a country. What? Hold on. Duke. Oh, that copied. What? We can't copy? Okay. I guess that makes sense. Duke. Why do you want to know my location, Google? Duke of something. Duke of something meaning. Thank you. Definition of duke. A sovereign male ruler of a continental European duchy. So they've broken 2 rules. 1, the person is female. 2, a person is not a country. What is this? I don't even know. Okay, let's go back to this. So, so that I am ready. I mean, I'm technically a young writer, but I guess they just chose Duke because it sounds interesting. Um, hmm. But there are better stories than that. Yeah, I can imagine that. It's like going on YouTube and picking the first video you see on like anywhere. Like, yeah, YouTube's gonna try and recommend the best videos to you, but you're gonna end up with some really, really weird and useless ones. Yeah, I kind of got that. Okay, so the sound has changed. Um, almost as if in reaction to my thoughts. Let's try this. It starts humming deeply. Changing, no, sounding as though the ground is moving. Okay. We're going to start from where we've started writing. As my hands itch for the feel of the scythe, I reach for the door and find my tool on the other side. Picking it up, it feels like any other scythe. A dead wood handle with an iron blade. And any one but a mandate it is. I've almost forgotten the sound that approaches as I get caught up in the reclamation of my tool. As I remember it's there, it changes, almost as if in reaction to my thoughts, it starts humming deeply. Sounding as though the ground is moving, it shakes. It shakes my bones in a way that is hard to ignore. Okay. Igor is apparently how you now spell ignore. Is that even how you spell ignore? I think so. Sounding as though the ground is moving, it shakes my bones, in a way that is hard to ignore. Realizing this means she is closer, I hurry through, insert action that defines the use and empowerment of a tool here, so that I am ready. Okay. So now, we get to make the entrance of our main protagonist. This is going to be fun. So, rushing out of the shed, I see that the clear... Wait, was it a clear sky? I don't think I described that yet. No, I haven't. Okay. I see that the clear sky... We might want to go back and do that. Sky has changed to a swirling thunderstorm. Not knowing how I didn't hear the rain, I run down. Can I change this to a capital I, as well as this, and put a comma there? I run down the hill, trying my best not to slide on the now slick path. Okay, so that's I'm ready. Rushing out of the shed, I see that the clear sky has changed to a swirling thunderstorm. Not knowing how I didn't hear the rain, I run down the hill, trying my best not to slide on the now slick path. Why does that slick look like the I is the second L? Guess that's just my eyes. Okay. So, how are we going to do the entrance of this person? So, as you can probably tell, her main power has to do with sound. So we started off introducing the sound as a slow beat with notes too far apart to really tell what the sound is supposed to be. And then, what was it? It was a slow rise and fall, which is the first one. And then the next one, no, the first one it was just like a weird feeling, like the air had changed. You couldn't quite tell what it was. So my idea there was it was like a really tight buzz that you could barely feel. And then it became the slow rise and fall. And then it was the deep humming, like the ground was shaking. Um, but it was like really fast and it wasn't like an earthquake. So from here, that's basically saying that she's got a really tight control over the air at a long distance. And then she's got a large amount of control at a medium distance. And then when she gets close, she can make the ground move with sound, I think. So it's harder to describe when it's not in a story, but I've got an idea. Um, so rushing out of the shed, I see that the clear sky has changed to a swirling thunderstorm. Not knowing how I didn't hear the rain, I run down the hill, trying my best not to slide on the now slick path. Looking over the rolling. Hello, Sergeant Ghost Warrior. No one knows me. No, I do not. I haven't seen you before, I don't think. Looking over the rolling hills, I see. Can I capitalize that I? That's not capital. I'm an alt anyway. Ah, nice. I see. Can I type? I see a swirls of water approaching, pulsing with and against the rolling beat, come on, beat in the air. I know who it is. So that would be our main protagonist. App racing. Can I type properly? Approaching. Is that it? No. How do you spell approaching? Two P's. Got it. And this needs to be capitalized. Okay. I didn't hear the rain as I run down. Not knowing how I didn't hear the rain, I run down the hill trying my best not to slide on the now slick path. Looking over the rolling hills, I see a swirl of water approaching, pulsing with and against the rolling beat in the air. I know who it is. Let's see. Seeing that it's... I know who it is. Okay. Seeing that it's pulsing with and against the rolling beat in the air, I know who it is. What is unbelievable? Let's see who pushed the button. Ah, it didn't tell me. Jerk. Let's put that up here. So maybe I can see the notifications. Got it. Oh, that's the wrong thing. What is this? You please. Ah! Sergeant Ghost Warrior pressed the button. We're gonna do that then. Okay. Also, we've been listening to AC/DC this whole time, so let's try and fix that. You gonna do anything? I pressed the button. Yeah, but we've been listening to the same song. It'd be fine if it was like an album or something, but it's the same song. That's not the best thing to do. Okay, I know who it is. Guys, we need a name for the character. I don't have a name for her. I don't even have a name for the main character. Bella? Okay, let me give a little bit of backstory on her. She's insane. She plays the violin, and her boyfriend just died. So that's all I have so far. Bella and or Lissa. I think Bella kind of sounds good. Not sure though. I know who it is. Bella. Okay. Bella approaches. Yeah, that just sounds like a video game. I know who it is. You can use Lissa for the other one, or I can find one. Well, let's see how this sounds then. We can change the names later, of course. Okay, I know who it is. Readying my... We don't have that copied anymore. Oh, we do. Readying my scythe. I grow... I don't want... What? How did I do that? Oh, I didn't know that was a thing. And they do Control I for italics. Whoa! That is amazing. Okay. Good to know. Readying my scythe, I grow hard and trees around me, hoping that I remember how to make them resist and to her sound. Hardened. Apparently that's not how you spell hardened. Ah, we need another N. Got it. We have an uncapitalized I. Readying my scythe, I grow hardened trees around me, hoping that I remember how to make them resistant to her sound. We need a comma. We need to comment this, because I keep forgetting where it is. Okay. So insert action that defines the use and empowerment of a tool. We need to choose something that says what we're wanting there. So, gosh, I can't remember. Something that defines what it is to activate a tool for the use of a mandate in... Let's just leave it at that. That way we know to change it in the future. Everything that we're planning on changing, we're going to comment. That way we know that we have to comment it. Now, can I do this? No. Okay. We can't multi-comment. And I just moved something. Okay. So, hoping that I remember how to make them resistant to her sound. Spreading the trees, trunks around me and my house. Around, spreading. I prepare for the approach. Okay, I think we've made progress. How far are we in? Can't even see on that screen. 31 minutes. Okay. So, prepare for the approach. Got it. So now we do the approach. So you sounded surprised. Yeah, I didn't expect it to be that long. I expected like 10 minutes or something. Okay. This is what I mean. Like we've added that. That's what we've added. Like 2/3 of a paragraph, if that. If this is what we're looking at as a paragraph. Yeah, writing takes a bit, particularly when you're not too practiced at it. Okay. I prepare for the approach. We need to do the approach. What do we do? So we need to figure out how to describe Bella's powers. So I don't think she's going to have any companions. I used to write dumb stories in math class. Yeah, that's basically what this is at this point. Let's see what's in Discord. I use miners need cool shoes. Okay. Okay. We're going to put Bella's name in here. Bella rushes down the mountain. No, hill. We don't spell hill with 2 eyes. Tearing up the ground behind her from sheer force of the sound coming off of her. Okay? Now we need to go back and fix our typos. Forch. I don't know how we did an H instead of an E, but apparently we did. Okay. Coming off of her. So Bella rushes down the hill, tearing up the ground behind her from sheer force of the sound coming off of her. What about that? Bella rushes down the hill, tearing up the ground behind. No. Tearing up the ground in her wake. Bella rushes down the hill, tearing up the ground in her wake from sheer force of the sound coming off of her. I think that sounds better. I don't want to say her twice. Okay. So, as she gets nearer, I hear the subtleties to the song coming from her instrument. Each note tearing through my ears with the force of a hammer. Okay? Forge. Again, we did that again. How am I hitting H instead of E? That's not even anywhere near C. What is this? Okay. The forge of a hammer. Okay. Note. Not. Okay. Bella rushes down the hill, tearing up the ground in her wake from sheer force of the sound coming off of her. As she gets nearer, I hear the subtleties of the song coming from her instrument, each note tearing through my ears with the force of a hammer. Okay? I have arrived! Welcome, as we have somebody destroying the world with a violin. Okay. So, we've described her as emanating this, like, destructive force of sound, right? One of the things about the mandates is they control the world at a subatomic level. So if they're doing something like this, where they're just emanating this destructive power, another mandate, in order to get close, would have to counter it equally. I kind of want to write a story of my own soon, so this is some good note taking. Yeah, you can kind of see where I fail. So we have written this in the past 37 minutes. Now that's including the time it took to read through the first time. So that's how far we made it. Not very far so far. And then we've got a couple of things we need to change as well. These 4 comments. Or 3 comments. Yeah, 3. Okay. So, Shadow, would you like a recap as far as what we've made the whole story to be so far? Okay. So we're going to read through the whole thing again. An attack approaches. I open my eyes as my body tightens with fear, trying to wake up without moving as I search with my senses for what alerted me. Finding that the air hums with a feeling, as if a sound is happening but I can't hear it. The air shifting like it would before a drummer beats, or the swell of a piper as they take their breath. Every motion of the air around me feels hostile, like it's been given an intent that it didn't have before. My very breath feels acidic in my mouth, the gust scraping my throat as it exits. Laying in bed, I wait for the attack to be more clear. I listen, trying desperately to make out the direction or purpose of this bizarre feeling. Then suddenly, I feel insane, needlessly second-guessing my powers like I did years ago, berating myself mentally. What am I doing, listening to the wind for an opponent? I toss the thought aside for now as I continue to mutter and get out of bed to start my day. I have things to do, with or without a threat. Trying to convince my sleep-deprived mind that this is the real world, I uncharacteristically use my powers to accomplish my morning tasks, simply to prove that I have them and that this threat is real. As my body wakes to the exertion and requirements of my chores, I get this nagging feeling that I should recognize the sound, that I felt it before, somewhere else. The sound changes ever so slightly as the memory comes to mind. It's just enough that I can make it out now. It's a slow rise and fall, as if to a beat too far apart for me to notice. Scrambling to gather my things, I attempt to block out my fear. The last time I heard this... That's not spelled right. The last time I heard this sound, everything changed. Running up the path from my field to the shed, I run in terror. I try to gather my thoughts about what's approaching. We were told she was stable, that she had found where she was supposed to be. What happened to set her off like this again, and why did she come this way? My thoughts stop as I near the shed. Near my shed. It has been so long since I have required the use of my tool. The moment hangs heavy in my mind as I consider the effects of wielding it again. And next paragraph, as this is a pause. As I approach the door, I remember the feeling of my tool, the power it gave me, and the connection to the world around me I felt when moving in sync with it. Now, we might end up changing sync. I smell the fresh scent of my powers at work from the back of my mind. The clear air, the pure water, the rot of transition plants, and the scent of pure joy. Now, transition plants we're not really sure on yet. I'm wanting it to be a word for plants or animals that are used to create another substance in between two forms of life. As my hands itch for the feel of my scythe, I reach for the door and find my tool on the other side. Picking it up, it feels like any other scythe, a dread wood handle with an iron blade, and to anyone but a mandate, it is. I have almost forgotten the sound that a what is it? I've almost forgotten the sound that approaches as I get caught up in the reclamation of my tool. As I remember that it's there, it changes, almost as if reaction to my thoughts. What is it? I've lost it. Almost as in reaction to my thoughts. Where am I going? Almost as if in reaction to my thoughts, it starts humming deeply. Sounding as though the ground is moving, it shakes my bones in a way that is hard to ignore. Realizing this means she is closer, I hurry through insert action that defines use empowerment of tool here. Call them limbo plants. Oh, that's a really good idea, Shadow. So that I'm ready. Okay. Um, where is that? Rushing out of the shed, I see that the clear sky has changed to a swirling thunderstorm. Not knowing how I didn't hear the rain, I rush down the hill, trying my best not to slide on the now slick path. Looking over the rolling hills, I see a swirl of water approaching. See that it's pulsing with and against the rolling of the beat in the air. I know who it is. Readying my scythe, I grow hardened trees around me, hoping that I remember how to make them resistant to her sound. Spreading the tree trunks around me in a way that I prepare for the approach, Bella rushes down the hill, tearing up the ground in her wake from sheer force of the sound coming off of her. As she gets nearer, I hear the subtleties of the song coming from her instrument, each note tearing through my ears with the force of a hammer. Oh, so this is a Reaper type mandate with Earth powers. No. So the mandate that is approaching is a sound mandate whose tool is a violin, right? The mandate we're following is a life crafter whose tool is a scythe. So that's why I was describing sound through most of the story. The one who's approaching has gone insane, um, and her boyfriend died. Yeah, so she's wreaking havoc on the world because she's able to reverberate any sound with energy. So any minuscule amount of sound she can just absolutely amplify and create a destructive force out of. So her tool is a violin. Um, and she can take that and create reverberating sounds that scatter across the countryside and can create storms and earthquakes, and then, of course, just completely destroy things. So as she's going down, any sound that hits her bounces off, destroys the ground, bounces back, destroys the ground, bounces back, and she's just tearing up the ground around her. That's why I said, if I remember correctly, where is it? Da, 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 da. Bella rushes down the hill, tearing up the ground in her wake from the sheer force of the sound coming off of her. So I specifically mentioned the sound coming off of her. So not only is she using her violin to make the original sound, but she's using herself to reverberate it. And then that's what's actually causing the destruction, is not only the reverberation of the sound, but then the sound that she's creating with her violin, which you can't see yet. So we just got to the point where the viewpoint mandate can see, or the main character, or can hear the subtleties of her music. Um, so it screams as though it were human. As long as I'm remembering correctly, her tool is a violin. Violins. Violins. Come on. Should not. Should not make this sound. Okay. Can I actually type today? Today would be the one day that I wish I could type. This is going to be a constant thing if I'm doing this every Thursday. Okay. It screams as though it were human. No. Yes. Can the reverberating sound destroy the violin waves? Okay. So I had mentioned that mandates can control the world at a microscopic, or not microscopic, atomic level, right? So um, she's able to, since her specialty is sound, she's able to make sure that it doesn't get destroyed as she's going. So she can choose which sound wave she reverberates. If you're just reverberating every sound, then eventually they'll just cancel themselves out. Does that make sense? So you're following the right path. If you've got two waves bouncing back and forth in a perfectly like bouncy room, okay? Eventually they'll go out of sync just enough to where they land in the same exact spot, okay? And then there'll be no sound. Since her power is sound, she's able to choose which sound waves and at what point she reverberates them. So she could take a dozen sound waves and then output them as one big one. Does that make sense? Okay. So all of this sound is hitting the ground, causing destruction, and then that destruction makes sound itself, and then she takes the sound from the destruction and then makes it into another big sound wave, which is either output through her as a thing that can make sound, or she can output it through energy through her violin. So the idea with the mandates is they can transfer energy between different forms, and then they can also alter matter at a very small level. So she can either make sound herself because you're made of matter, it can make sound, um, or she can use a tool between her and making sound to make making sound easier. So obviously a violin is better at making sound than a human. So if she wanted to make very specific sound, then she would use her violin. Also, for getting the tool ready, call it the awakening. Good idea. Okay, so we actually need to add those. Limbo plants. So that's this one. Limbo plants. I put that in the wrong spot. Shadow. Shizuo. Okay, got that. And the awakening. Shadow. Awesome. I will keep those in mind. I'm going to think on that a little bit, and I'm going to ask Keek about it, because those are two things that we've already decided are actually going to happen. So we want to make sure we've got that agreed on. Violins should not make this sound. Sync is harmony. Good idea. Okay. So we'll see on that. I'm going to go through next time we read through and replace it with those words and see how it sounds. So, it screams as though it were human. As long as I'm remembering correctly, her tool is a violin. Violins should not make this sound. It is agonizing. A scream. So, let's make sure I have this word right. Guttural. Of speech sound produced in the throat, harsh sounding. Sweet! I know my English. A scream, so! Okay. I just turned it on again. Scream, so, guttural. Perfect. That it makes me want to puke from the pain it contains. Okay. Good progress. We've actually made it to the second page. This needs to be capitalized, just doing a little bit of correction. And perfect. The hostility in the air is suddenly a full-on attack, tearing at my skin and peeling, come on, at its layers. You should take this through Grammarly spell check because Google Docs one isn't the best. I might. I'm not entirely relying on Google spell check. Grammarly primarily make sure that it sounds okay. I'm trying to make sure it sounds okay myself, and that is a double space. Okay. The hostility in the air is suddenly a full-on attack, tearing at my skin and peeling at its layers. I wield my tool and hold the air around me, buffering around me. Buffering the sound. Come on. Sound with its own energy. Sweet. That is not how you spell wield. I wield my tool and hold the air around me, buffering the sound with its own energy. Song! The Haunting! Perfect. That actually fits pretty well with what we're writing at the moment. Okay. The hostility in the air is suddenly a full-on attack, tearing at my skin and pulling at its layers. I wield my tool and hold the air around me, buffering the sound with its own energy. So the idea is they've made a bubble around them. I'll see how it sounds, Shadow. They've made a bubble around them that is sustained by the sound hitting the bubble. So it's kind of like, as long as there's a threat that is attacking them, there's something defending against the threat. It's a little bit of a cheap thing, but there's a really, really easy backfire to it. They can just remove the energy. So if Bella, which is our theoretical name for the attacker, taking the attack molecules and turning them against the attacker as the defense mechanism, kind of. It's taking the energy of the air molecules and using them to push the air molecules back or to hold air molecules around them, right? So if you imagine the sound wave as air molecules being pushed forward and then moving back, okay? You've got air molecules that are being pushed into this, right? And what it'll do is it'll just stop that energy, okay? And then use it to push the air molecules back to where there's no sound on the inside of this bubble anymore. Now, the really easy counter to this is if Bella, which is the stand-in name for the protagonist at the moment, were to just stop making sound for a minute, then there'd be no energy to sustain this spell. That's the idea. So, now to cast spells like this, we're thinking the mandate should have to have a tool, and that's what it's bound to. So, I wield my tool. We're going to comment on that. Now, some of these comments are for Heek. Required to cast the spell. Oh, we're going to put spell in quotation marks. Okay. We're going to comment this with what we just said. Holds air around. No. Hold on. Counters incoming sound waves with their... Oh, okay. I'm like, what is this song? With their own energy. Easy counter would be to stop sending energy into the, come on, the effect area of the spell. Sound good? Counters incoming sound waves with their own energy. Easy counter would be to stop sending energy into the effect area of the spell. Sounds good to me. Okay. As long as I'm remembering correctly, her tool is a violin. Violins should not make this sound. It is agonizing, a scream so guttural that it makes me want to puke from the pain it contains. The hostility in the air is suddenly a full-on attack, tearing at my skin and peeling at its layers. I wield my tool and hold the air around me, buffering the sound with its own energy. Okay, that sounds good to me. She suddenly in front of me, pulling back her bow. Okay, so on a violin, you have the violin itself and then a bow that rakes across the strings. So as she swings the bow across the strings, make it a ranged weapon. That's what I'm about to do. As she swings the bow across the strings, she flicks the fingers of her. Okay, we actually have to look this up. So I'm going to assume that most of the pictures we're about to look at, the person is right-handed, playing the violin. Because I don't know which one you do left or right hand. Okay, so it seems you do. So we've got that's left hand on the strings. That's left hand on the strings. 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 Right hand on the strings. Left hand on the strings. Left hand on the strings. Left hand on the strings. Okay, we're going to assume that it's generally left hand on the strings, right hand on the bow. Sound fair? Okay. Okay. Things. She flicks the things. Okay, we need to fix that. She flicks the fingers. She flicks the fingers of. That's what I would do if I play a violin. Yeah, like I wanted to make sure that it's one way or the other. And it kind of makes sense to do it that way because you have more power in your primary hand. So left hand is what she's flicking. Lefty, left hand. And okay. Pulling back her bow, she swings the bow across the strings. This sounds weird. Okay, so she swings the bow across the strings. She flicks the fingers of her left hand. Now, pulling back her bow. Let's take this out. She flicks the fingers of her left hand and rakes the bow across the bridge of. I don't think it's the bridge. Let's try this. Fingers of left hand. Yes. Violin. Is that wrong? Violin anatomy. Let's look at this. So this is called waist strings. Okay. So this, she flicks the fingers of her left hand and rakes across the strings. Ooh, I did get that right, didn't I? Find and replace. I wanted to open Control H. There isn't a her. Yeah, there is. Who did you think was the person coming down? The her is the person coming down the hill. And singers of left hand. She flicks the fingers. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. I don't know why I kept adding that in my head. She flicks the fingers of her left hand and rakes the bow across the strings. Thank you. Letting out a wave of force so strong it makes it through my spell. Throwing me back into the trunks of my age-hardened trees. Okay. No. Throwing me in the direction. In the direction of the trunks of my age-hardened trees. Let's not do trunks. Let's take this out. Throwing me. Why do I keep removing the subject of these actions? Okay. She shouldn't. She is suddenly in front, pulling back in front. I did it again! She is suddenly in front. In front of what? Come on. There has to be a subject for these things. Okay. She is suddenly in front of me, pulling back her bow. She flicks her fingers of her left hand and rakes the bow across the strings. She rakes her bow. We're going to do that. Her bow across the strings, letting out a wave of force so strong it makes it through my spell, throwing me in the direction of my age-hardened trees. So the reason I changed the last part of that sentence, right, is because I want to have the main character catch themselves. Okay? So should we have them soft in the trees or catch themselves mid-air? I think the air makes more sense. So there has to be a line saying, I can see the insanity in her eyes. Okay. Let's see. Where would we fit that? She's suddenly in front of me, pulling back her bow. She flicks the fingers of her left hand and rakes the bows across the strings, letting out a wave of force so strong it makes it through my spell, throwing me in the direction of my age-hardened trees. I think I got it. No, I have an idea. Time shifts. I see her face. Is this how you spell unfeeling? No, because I type it. Unfeeling and yet insane in every way. Her eyes lost and searching. How's that? Thoughts? Time shifts. I see her face, unfeeling and yet insane in every way. Her eyes lost and searching. Lost within the depths of the shadowy corners of her mind. I think just lost and searching sounds good. I don't want to get too deep into describing tiny details, because that's just going to be a lot of tiny things. Like I could get into depth describing a single blade of grass if I wanted so, but there's going to be plenty of chances to describe that kind of thing later. We don't have to do it at the first interaction. Does that make sense? That's something that's really, really easy to get caught into. So let's see. Where did I save my Sparks story? I think I saved it in OneNote. I'm going to drag this over here. Okay. Master Sparks. Yes, this is it. Okay. So this was my first story of this kind of thing. And let's see if I can find an area where I got that really bad. What was it called? It was a thing. Was it a gauntlet? No. It was... What is that thing that you put on your arm? Bracer. Thank you. Okay, here it is. So the master leaps forward, swinging his arms towards his student, and faster than his student can see, he grabs his sword from his back. The student, unprepared for the oncoming blade, having been expecting only a fist, ducks and deflects the blade inches off of his face, off of his bracer. So that's something, or inches from his face, off of his bracer. The master launches off of his student bracer, bruising both his hand and that of his students. Recovering from his master's attack, the student gets off of his brows, off of the ground, and adjusts his marred bracer. Checking from cuts on his arm where the bracer ends, and adjusts against his arm, stabs his sword in the ground. The master takes advantage of the second he was distracted and lunges. The student, expecting this, lunges back and thrusts the sword upwards, spraying dirt and stones into the air. So when I first written that, I spent 5 sentences explaining him adjusting his bracer. You can very easily get into writing too much detail into a single area. No, I don't sound annoyed. Or I'm not meaning to. It's what I'm trying to explain is you can very, very easily get into too much detail when it comes to something that may be inspiring you about that specific scene, but really isn't going to do well in text. Does that make sense? So that kind of detail really works well in motion animation. So, or motion storytelling. If you're doing animation or playwriting or things like that, where you can give descriptions of what the person's actually going to be doing as they are writing or as they're talking through the story. So you can say as they talk through their sentence and say this word and this word, they do this. So as they're talking through explaining why you should do it this way, they're motioning with their hands against them talking, and they adjust their shoes and tie them. Does that make sense? But you don't want to explain that in text unless it's very important to the storyline. That's kind of the idea behind Chekhov's gun. Um, you're not going to mention it in text unless it's important, because otherwise it's just useless. So time shifts. I see her face, unfeeling, and yet insane in every way, her eyes lost and searching. Realizing I am in danger, I reach for the air around me and move as much as I can behind me to soften behind me. Have I told you the backstory of why she's insane at the moment? To soften behind me. Behind me is twice. Yeah, I'm realizing that. To soften my landing. That's what I'd meant to do, but I was rereading the sentence while I was typing. Her BF died, right? Yeah, so I'm thinking instead of for something unfathomable, lost and searching for something long gone or unreachable. Okay, we'll do unreachable. Unreachable. Okay. Because I don't think unfathomable quite fits. Unfathomable would be, you know, you wouldn't be able to imagine it happening. Um, unreachable is more you can never have it. Something long gone is like it'll never be here again and it's gone. You're not gonna get it. You know, you can fathom having a loved one back. You can fathom them never dying again or having never died in the first place. So I think that's kind of important. Oh, on that note, you guys should actually be able to see this. I don't think you can edit it, but you can see it. And you might be able to comment as well. So if you guys have any ideas on the comments that I've listed, those are there. So that's in chat now. Okay. Is my chat even showing up here? I don't think that is. No, it's not showing up on stream. We'll have to fix that. Okay. So we need to reread this last section here, and then we're going to need to make a new paragraph at some point. So, she is suddenly in front of me, pulling back her bow. She flicks the fingers of her left hand and rakes her bow across the strings, letting out a wave of force so strong it makes it through my spell. Throwing me in the direction of my age-hardened trees, time shifts. I see her face, unfeeling and yet insane in every way, her eyes lost in searching for something unreachable. Realizing I am in danger, I reach for the air around me and move as much as I can behind me to soften my landing. We can only view it. You can't see can you do comments? So like if you take this one and actually comment the awakening. Okay. See if I can change that. Anyone with the link can view. Oh, we can do that. Try that one. That's the same link. What is this? Okay, that works for me. So you should already be able to comment. Maybe. Is this you? Anonymous dolphin! There's an anonymous dolphin, guys! Help! It's gonna kill me. What is this message? Ah, an anchor's life. Sweet. Access is denied. You might need an account. Oh, anyone at mob51.net. Hold on. Da, 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 da. Anyone with a link can comment. Try now. Does it work now? I saw something change. Hold on, what is this? It worked! Okay, where's the comment? Add A! Where's this A that is missing? Oh! Bones in way. Okay, go ahead and do that. Sweet. That works for me. So now you guys replace what? What's with what? Okay, Ewan, I'll do that. Okay, Ewan. Hey, I did good on the rest of this. All of Anonymous Otter is doing this thing. Okay. Wait, we actually have 3 people here? Who is this? So that's Ewan. That's an otter. No, what is this? Add O. Where's this? Oh, okay. And then add quotation marks. What? Oh, no, that's that's a comma in quotation marks. Okay. And apparently I forgot a comma here. What about here? Okay. This is kind of fun. Okay. Add C. Where did I forget a C? Oh, I just did sent. Like I sent mail. What is wrong with the? No, the pure water is I thought that's proper. Why are you making a new paragraph, Ewan? Oh yeah, okay. But why a new paragraph? Deletes paragraph. Adds paragraph, deletes paragraph. Good job. Delete space. Goodbye space. Ewan, while you're looking through this, what do you think of Shadow's suggestions on sync, transition plants, and insert action that defines the use empowerment of a tool here? Ah, got it. Because I'm still not sure on those. Okay, I'm just catching up on the bottom here to make sure I'm still in the right section. Realizing I'm in danger, I reach for the air around me and move as much as I can behind me to soften my landing. Okay. Passing, pass. Ignore grammar suggestion. What? Ignore grammar suggestion. Is that not how you spell rakes? At least that's how you spell American rakes. Rakes in England. It is how you spell it. Okay, I don't know. Oh, it's suggesting takes. Apparently, Shadow doesn't spell rakes very often. Passing through the dense section of air, I drop. I need that to be capitalized. Need the right, but you are using it as a verb. Need the right form. Yeah. Is there a different form than rakes verb? Yeah, that's right. Isn't it? Third person present, rakes. That's what it is. It's third person present. We're saying that she rakes it in the present. So from a third person perspective, she's raking it in the present. Unless I'm a complete moron and don't know what third person present means. Okay, let's go back to this. Is it like a violin bow? Yes. Is there a different word for that? Because I honestly have no clue. It is exactly like a violin bow. It is a violin bow. Okay. Passing through the dense section of air, I fall to the ground. Failing? No, what is it? Not failing to breathe, struggling. Struggling to breathe. Breath. Scroll up. We have a different change. Comes to, with appears from the recesses. I'm not sure on that, Shadow. I want this to seem like it's an old memory. Like it hasn't happened for a while. Like I'm talking decades. I see why you want to simplify it, but I'm thinking like older memory. So like, hmm. I don't know. I'm going to leave that here for now, and I'm going to say you draw. Okay. Da, 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 da. Where can I click on that link? Drawing the bow across the strings. Okay, good to know. We will fix that then. Unless Ewan's already on it. He is on it. Perfect. And it deleted the space. And I deleted the S. There. Now, breathe is right there. Breath. The power of meaning, or the power of breathing life. Okay. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Breathe. Ah, Shadow got it already. Okay. Oh, we needed to comment on this still. Okay. Want it to seem like an old memory. Willing to change, though. Delete space. Where's this paragraph added? Okay. Why 2 paragraphs there? Is that an accident? I'm going to assume that's an accident because that's a really weird place for a paragraph. Time shift. I'm not really meaning that to be a time shift though. I guess kind of like a pause, but it's kind of shadow. It's more they can fight aging. So we've discussed how uh, they can alter the world at an atomic level. In the same way, they can heal way easier than regular humans. Um, because the biggest problem with humans is that we can't change our body at that scale without chemicals. Um, and those chemicals give issues. It is a separate time, a sudden change making a different scene of sort. Okay. Then we need to make a different transition than suddenly, or maybe a different transition to the end of the paragraph. So let's do that. Trying desperately to make out the direction or purpose of this bizarre feeling. Waiting for something to change. I stay, come on. I stay quiet. Then suddenly is what shows the change. Yeah, but to me, trying desperately to make out the direction or purpose of this bizarre feeling, that's waiting for another sentence. Okay, what about this? We do that. How's that? Trying desperately to make out the direction or purpose of this bizarre feeling. I lay in bed as I wait for the attack to be more clear. I listen. Better? And I think that's a good transition between my breath feels very acidic in my mouth, the gust scraping my throat as it exits, and then trying desperately to make out the direction or purpose of this bizarre feeling. Does that make sense? Reopened. What tool? Marked as resolved. How did, what? Oh, I see what you did. Okay. Yeah, you reopened, marked the tool thing here. So I had marked, I had marked the scythe as it was just tool at some point. I wish it would notify me in a different way when there's a new comment, particularly when we're editing together like this. Okay. Passing through the dense section of air, I fall to the ground, struggling to breathe. I release the air with a massive thud of a sound, as if a large balloon popped slowly. Okay, so I'm kind of thinking it's like, I didn't want to move that. I'm kind of thinking it's like the entirety of this pressurized air just went boom, almost like an explosion, but not, because there's no fire. It's just like a big expansion of gas. So exactly like an explosion, just not hot. Um, so if you think of any explosion, it's just a big thud and then a fizzle that happen almost simultaneously. Okay, we have an edit, I think. No? Somebody's changing it? Anonymous Otter is, I guess? I don't know who Anonymous Otter is supposed to be. Shockwave? Um, it's not really a shockwave, though. It's just a pop. I guess I'm an otter and Ewan is a bear. Interesting. Yeah, anonymous grizzly, an anonymous otter. Seems a little weird. We'll leave that there for now. Let's do more like an a slow explosion. Seeing as the air bubble is large and the air is going in all directions at once. Okay. So, I fall to the ground, struggling to breathe. I release the air with a massive thud of a sound, as if a large balloon popped slowly. I know that phrasing seems weird, but I don't know any other way to describe it. Um, Looking up, I see Control I, Bella. I'm going to highlight their names for right now. Bella has left. No, this dude disappeared. Not sure transitions plants is good here, as the reader doesn't have any introduction to them yet. Yeah, I'm not sure either. I'm wanting them to be very specific though. Um, I don't. I know what they're supposed to be, and I want them to be very, very important to how life crafters work. And they're not strictly going to be plants, but you've also got to remember this is like being thrown into the middle of the story. I am trying to introduce certain aspects, um, but can they revive people? No, that's something that they've yet to figure out how to do. See, Bella has disappeared, and I do not see her around. Okay. Um, I get your point, but together in what? Delete the. Where was this the? Oh. Um. Yeah. What is this though? Okay. So there was already a comment for that. Here. No, where was it? This. Uh, good job, Shadow. Yeah, there was a comment for that. We had said that it was going to be Harmony, and yeah, it is gone. Good job, Shadow. Sync no suggests no inherent connection. Yeah, that Shadow had suggested Harmony. Um, and I did say that I'm not too happy with Sync. But to me, it got the idea across as to what I wanted it to say. So I am willing to discuss it. I'm not sure how together works, though. Because it doesn't get the whole idea across. So it's more. So the idea behind the tools is they're using it less like a shovel and more as you would a pen or a pencil, right? So with every idea that they want this tool to help them with, they are putting the idea and the feeling and the whole thing through it. What are you doing? Continue with C. What did you do that for? Okay. Replace comes to with appears. Okay, we already did that. Okay, yeah, that shouldn't be capitalized. I'm capitalizing things all over the place. And you deleted a space. That's fixed. I removed the space already. Okay, am I all caught up? Sweet. This one I'm still not sure on. Okay, so I'm wanting it to be as you would treat it like a pencil. Together is the equivalent if there is a connection. But harmony is not bad either, though harmony suggests different stuff happening at the same time. I agree with that, Ewan. That's why I'm not too keen on harmony. Though together does kind of seem like a good balance. What is this? Transition plant and scent. Ewan already removed the shadow. Um, yeah, wouldn't the work there, Ewan? Because you're doing the end of all of the commas. Yeah, Ewan, I think you actually got that one wrong there. It can, but we have removed it from the others. Yeah, but at least that's the way I was taught. The clean air, pure water, rot of transition plants, and the scent of pure joy. I think that makes more sense. Okay, I'm going to add that back. There. Okay. It is correct either way. I'm going to leave it like this because it sounds better to me. It's just the way I've grown up to it. These, yeah, I admit that was wrong. Um, I don't know why I didn't catch that. It sounds better to me without it. Okay. Control C. No, it's not a thing. Oh yeah, because it's comment. What is comment? Control Alt M. Why can't it be Control Alt C? Why does it have to be Control Alt M? That doesn't even. I can't even hit Control Alt M comfortably. I don't even know. Okay. Ewan says no. Help. There. Okay, we need to figure this one out though. And Ewan is trying to figure out the empowerment of a tool. There is a comment on that one too. Shockwave. Yes, we are looking at that too. Oh, we have a kangaroo? Nice! We have another person. I'm assuming that is Nessa. Okay. Let's see. Looking up, I see Bella has disappeared, and I do not see her around. Let's do nearby. I'm just eating airheads. Nice. I'm just drinking pop and writing a story. Da, da, da. Oh, looks like that's going to be changed. Made a suggestion in the surrounding area. Okay, fine. I do not see her in the surrounding area. Perfect. I'm actually going to grab a water now because my throat's starting to hurt. Come on, water. Ta-da! A water, yes. Sugar is not good on a sore throat, by the way. So, I do not see her in the surrounding area. It's very good. No, it's not. Trust me. It makes your throat hurt more when you're having to talk a lot. Ask Exumavoid. He used to, like, yell about that a lot on his streams. Well, not yell. He would, uh, like, he doesn't sugar his teas when he's on stream, but he does off of stream because he doesn't, he recognizes that you want to drink water or unsugared beverages when you're talking a lot. Okay. Looking up, I see Bella has disappeared, and I do not see her in the surrounding area. Getting to my feet. I look. Ah, da 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 da. I drink something that at least looks like water on stream. Nice. Heek joined a Cape Craft voice chat earlier. Yeah, he is on. Oh, what is it even called? Spring break? Yes, thank you. Look. Why is this highlighting pink? I look around and see the pulsating water storm in the distance. It is water, lemon juice, and some flavorings and artificial sweetener. Nice. He keeps saying, do you have proof for that evidence? Yeah, he's a bit of a moron like that. Okay, getting to my feet, I look around and see the pulsating water storm in the distance. I'm not liking where this is going. Da, 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 da. Let's do that. It's quite a bold claim you've got there. Yeah, he does that too. Okay. Okay, so she's not directly around the person she just knocked over, right? But I don't want her to just run away. I want them to see both persons' powers, right? So we've seen that the Life Crafter can make trees that are hardened. Okay, let's do it this way. Da, 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 da. What about a last-ditch retribution attack to make Bella stay away? See, I don't think that's going to work, because the idea is that she's completely insane. So what kind of attack could you do to a person that would make them go away if they're insane? Getting up, I look around to find... What was that? I saw something change. Somebody make a comment. I see this is highlighted. Traumatize them! Traumatize them more! No, I think I'm okay. Getting up, I look around to find... I need to do Control I. Bella. And we need to capitalize that, actually. Because names are capitalized. What is this? It's pink again because Anonymous Otter is over here. Okay. Bella. Okay. And see a wall of water and mist. Why do things keep changing? Okay. Oh, geez. Reclaiming the scythe, I reach for the door and find my tool on the other side. Picking up, it feels like any other scythe. It would handle with an iron blade. To anyone but Mandate, it is. I've almost forgotten the sound that approaches as I get caught up in the reclamation of my tool. Back to reading. Okay. I'm really not sure what you replaced here. Then what is this? Wait, is this just removing it? I don't know what this is. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna say no since nobody knows what's going on. Yeah, that's what it seems like. I didn't notice any differences reading through it, other than it started and stopped in the middle of two words. That was the only difference, so it ended up starting. What sort of empowerment? Infusing with some form of energy or something. Okay, so the idea behind their tools, I'm seeing that comment, is they have the ability to use energy on matter, right? Um, so they can individual. He and I have debated a lot about this. They can use energy to act upon matter in different ways. So they can move the individual atoms. They can add a force to it. They can change the direction of it. They can cause plants to grow, that kind of thing. But individually, what they would have to do is end up, what is it? They would have to end up, at least from my perspective, individually using each individual atom or each individual task. So let's say that a mandate could lift an entire object on their own. If they could see the whole thing as an object, then they could lift it, right? They could provide a force to the whole thing. But if they wanted to cause a plant to grow, then they would have to individually look at each cell and provide it with the nutrients in whatever form um, that they wanted. When a mandate uses a tool, it's them saying, I want to use this for whatever it's worth. Now, the way I've always looked at it is you can build tools. Guys, don't edit the same thing. You're just going to mess each other up. Guys. Okay. So there would be different materials that would be better at different tasks. So wood would be good at growing things. Iron could be good at making things durable, for example. Um, it guys, you're messing each other up. Okay, so it's not. He always had the problem of, at least with making different materials matter. If I were to pick up this remote, what materials in here would matter to a mandate? And would it actually have to calculate the alloys of this remote as a tool? Would we actually have to know if a mandate were to try to use this remote as a tool, what material or what affinities it has? And my thing is, why not just, it doesn't matter what it does until you try and use it as that. So when they pick up a tool and attempt to use it as a tool, that's what they're doing. I think. I don't know. Okay. Realizing this means she is closer than I feared, I quickly push energy into the scythe, charging and awakening the scythe. Okay. I think that works. Okay, I'm going to resolve this comment. And this one as well. And I'm assuming this means I'm ready. So I'm going to do that and that. Okay. She's closer than I feared. I quickly push energy into the scythe, charging and awakening the it. Okay. So you guys deleted. Okay, yeah. Ewan, what do you think about limbo plants versus transition plants? I'm not sure limbo quite captures that because limbo is like a state in between, but they're meant to be a step in between. Still have no idea what a limbo plant or a transition plant is. So in this case, it's in the form of life crafters, right? So if you want to make a wooden golem, right? Oh, in terms of as a reader, okay. So I get that. Um, but I'm wanting to have something in there that isn't quite clear. Um, because it's supposed to be reminiscent. Does that make sense? It's supposed to leave something to explain. My throat is itching. Okay. I'm wanting to have in there something that alludes to there being more to what they are as a mandate um, than just, oh, I'm thinking about what it was to be a mandate. Let me explain this random thing. Does that make any sense? Okay, I'm going to deny this for now, Shadow. Do these transition plants have a different rot smell to other kinds of plants? I would think so. Delete space. Where's this space? Yeah, okay. Um, because they would smell like a lot more pungent. They'd be sped up because the idea is that you're wanting to make it make this specific substance as fast as possible so you can move on to the next plant um, or the next thing you're trying to make. So if you are working with another mandate that is looking to make a tool or looking to build something, you want to make a specific substance that you can't make very easily otherwise. So let's say you wanted, you said it was not always plants, right? Um, so you could make an animal that was good at creating hydrochloric acid, or you could make an animal like the animals that made clay, not clay, chalk. How about just the rot of transition? I think that actually works. And we define transition later. Yeah, that works for me. Why is Ewan says no, help. Yeah, that doesn't need a comment. What am I doing? Okay. And Ewan's got it. And done. Sweet. And we're going to leave these on here as that explains the sentence. Required to cast the spell. Counters incoming sound waves with their own energy. Easy to counter. Easy counter would be to stop sending energy into the effect area of the spell. Sweet. And see a wall of water and mist. Okay. A couple dozen or 100 feet away. If there was a wall of water and mist being made by sheer amount of sound, it's a couple dozen or 100 feet away. I'm pretty sure we have made a lot more progress like this. We have Shadow, and we've made a lot more things clear. Like I said, I have not really been working on this very much myself, so I'm really happy with this. Would transmutation be better? Yes, that actually fits it really well. Because if you're thinking transmutation like alchemy, yeah, that fits it really well. You're turning one substance into another. That's perfect. Metamorphosis. I kind of like transmutation better. Metamorphosis, I don't know. I don't have as much of an attachment to metamorphosis. Follow your dreams! Yes. Okay. Transmutation. Go. The rot of transmutation. Perfect. Okay, so 100 feet or a couple dozen feet for a wall of water and mist made by rain and clashing sound waves. I think 100. Yeah, I think that works really well, Ewan. Thanks. I think 100 feet for a wall of water and mist. 100 feet away. Because a couple dozen, I feel like she'd be getting effects from that. Okay, so how are we going to have our main character prepare for this final battle? Because I think we should probably wrap this story up soon, or at least have a large battle. I don't know. Not necessarily wrap it up, but we should hit the climax. Because this has been a long, for the depth of what the story is supposed to go into, build up. Also, um, we kind of need to make a new paragraph, because this is a long paragraph. Da, 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 da. Let's try here. Readying my scythe, I grow hardened trees around me, hoping that I remember how to make them resistant to her sound. Spreading the tree trunks around me and my house, I prepare for the approach. There! Okay. We're gonna do it there. Okay. I prepare for the approach. Control I. A few minutes later, Bella rushes down the hill. I just fixed it, Ewan. No more long paragraph. Ta-da! I was just talking about fixing that. Yeah, I was literally trying to find a good point to transition. So, yeah, a few minutes later, Bella rushes down the hill. I was typing and looked away. You're good. Let's make sure we're caught up there. Okay. So, getting up, I look around to find Bella and see a wall of water and mist 100 feet away. Not sure. For Bella, I just picture this middle height female with a ragged red dress and raven black hair. You're right on the raven black hair. Okay. I have not thought about what she's wearing or what the rest of it is, but I have thought about her hair. Not sure why am I capitalizing that. Not sure what. Last. A ragged black outfit. Um, why does it have to be ragged? That's my question. Is it just because she's destroying everything around her? Now it's just Nessa's skin. Which one? She has like 6. Doesn't she currently look like a what is it even called? A runner, like a racetrack runner, a track runner, like with the red hair and blue. Okay, we gotta look up Nessa on Name MC. Name MC. Ness. This is so annoying to type. That's not ragged at all. This is ragged. See? That's torn. Yours was not torn. Yeah, that wasn't a dress either. Hold on. Why is mine point .1? Who was the first mob 51? What is this? What? Is there another mob 51 that it's not wanting to show me? Okay then. So, this is who I was talking about before. That looks like a track runner to me. That just looks like a track runner, but I don't know. Okay. Not sure what she is planning. I waver in attacking again. Ah, point one is first on that site. That's not how it used to be. They must have changed it. I'm not sure what she is planning. I wave her and attacking again. Okay. I want to say, like, I want them to think about how the fight just happened. Um, but I don't want to say especially or particularly. There's something on the left of your face cam. Oh, yeah, my camera moved. Fixed. It must have been when I was tapping the desk. Yeah, I need to actually mount this. Hold on. I had some things I could mount that with, but I don't remember where I put them. Well, I found them. I went and bought some Velcro. I was just going to mount it to the back of my desk. So, but I don't know where they are off the top of my head, and it's probably not a good idea to mount it on stream. But yeah. Also, we're coming up on 2 hours, so last chance to have anything changed. It looks like you were searching behind the web page. What do you mean behind the web page? I don't even know what that means. Like this? Ma 51. Ta-da! Behind the web page, what is that? When you were looking for the mount. Mount? What mount? I'm so confused. For the Velcro. Oh! I see what you're saying. Okay. So like when I was looking over here and over here, I see what you're saying. Got it. Okay. Either way, last chance. Felt with herd. Okay, we'll do that. Though, if you had looked earlier, Ewan, I had originally described it as a feeling rather than a sound, and at this point, it's not yet quite a sound yet. Ah, yeah, I did make it a sound. That's valid. Okay. So I should have said feeling there instead of sound if I wanted to keep that. Okay, let's do that. It says sound in the sentence. Yeah, I'm seeing that now. I'm going to fix that. Because I wanted to keep it as a feeling up until it actually changed. Okay, that's why rereading it from another perspective helps. Yeah, that's really cool, Nessa. I haven't even been on the server since you got it. But yeah, congratulations. I really need to go and grind for some wither skeleton skulls. I'm completely out right now. Okay, at that note, at that point, I'm going. Da, 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 da. Anyone with the link can view. Done. Okay. Comments are closed for now. I will see you guys tomorrow. I don't think I'm off this Sunday, but next Thursday we'll do another one of these. And I'll try and work on the story a little bit between now and then to see what I can get done. I will see you all tomorrow for what should hopefully be Don't Starve Together. Good night.